The culture of excellence. Ben Shapiro is famous within the conservative circles of American politics by his quote, which I believe he coined, "Facts don't care about your feelings." This is one very concise statement, and in a sane world, this ice cube of truth is supposed to be acknowledged and preserved. But sadly, we are emotional creatures. And many times we make our judgments based on how we feel things should be rather than how they ought to normally be. So when we make our decisions, we do not get the kind of results we desire because of the basis for those calls. A rare event happened to me today as I boarded the same Safe Boarder bike I had boarded yesterday when returning from work. The Safe Boarder app requires that users rate the performance of their employed riders on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the perfect performance. My rider had an average rating of 3.8, which is not too bad, but which I don't consider is the best performance review, considering that he's on the first 4,000 riders for the company in my city. I have boarded many of the first thousands who had ratings of 4.0 plus. So yesterday, this guy arrived late to pick me up from work, and I complained about that. His navigation was poor and his riding skills were subpar, and I'm being honest. His bike was not in the best shape, but it was better than some I had boarded in the past. He did not communicate well, if at all he did. I had to shout at him for his poor driving at some point during the 22-minute long trip. When I arrived at my destination, I paid my due and it was time to rate the guy's performance, which, by the way, isn't compulsory. But I like doing it as a service. I thought about how giving him a good rating will help him measure up, and I gave him a 4 point, even though I know his performance deserved a 2 or a 3. I decided to help, or so I thought. And today, this same guy was tapped to come and pick me up. Something I assumed to be the strangest of odds when you consider that the company had about 1,100,000 riders, working at different parts of my city, the largest in West Africa. His navigation was much better than yesterday's, and he was a little bit smarter than he had been. Yet, his driving was only a bit better. When we were about 3/4 into the trip, I was thinking about how I would rate him. Yeah, he performed better than he did the day before, but is he worth 5 today? I knew that I wouldn't be asking myself that question if I knew that he deserved a 5. Today, he deserves a 4, but my conscience wouldn't allow me to rate him the same way I rated him yesterday. I was now going to give him a 5, which I know he doesn't deserve. His driving wasn't safe and he lacked communication skills, the qualities that warrant a perfect score. However, since I had lowered the bar yesterday, I barely had to limp rather than lip over it today. Now there's the lesson. Facts don't care about our feelings indeed. And the quicker we realize that building a firm and reliable foundation for excellence will produce a just society, the earlier we will become one. Excellence is not as much about the desire for it as it is about if we are deserving. We cannot build an excellent life or society around our emotions and desires, but upon our performance. And our performance is supposed to be judged, not human beings. It is an it factor, not a him, her, they factor. We have to relegate our biases whenever the truth, which is the foundation of our society, is at stake. If the service is not incredible, don't say it is. Rate it as you see the performance, not with your biases. It is about time we created a culture of excellence. Excellence is fairness. Excellence doesn't stop being true, even when we are hated for upholding the standard. With the consistency of action and time, more people will realize that we are indeed one of the fairest people on earth. Kindly like and subscribe to this channel. We covet and appreciate your support.